What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is John and this is John Paul Investing. Today we were going to look at Sensonic stock and figure out why exactly it is short squeezing. This is something that we were kind of expecting a couple months ago when I made the first video about the Sensonic short squeeze. It has come into play now as we are up over 30% from yesterday, up almost 100% over the past month, and now things are looking very promising for Sensonics fundamentally as well. So without further ado, let's get right in. So the most recent announcement by Sensonics was the announcement of their PROMISE study demonstrating a strong accuracy of the 180-day continuous glucose monitor, or essentially their success with the 180-day sensor that we've all been waiting FDA approval on. So looking at the actual press release itself, the data was presented by Satish Garg, MD, Professor of Medicine at the Barbara Davis Center of the University of Colorado, Denver, and the study group principal investigator as an oral presentation at the 14th annual ATTD meeting, or the Advanced Technologies and Treatment for Diabetes. Results were presented for both the primary sensor and for the secondary sensor with modified chemistry. It's not just 180 days, it's actually an upgraded sensor as well. The value of the CGM for patients with diabetes, especially those requiring insulin, is unquestioned. To enable more patients to utilize CGMs, there needs to be choice in product features. The accuracy profile demonstrated by the SENS in the PROMISE study validates the role that long-term implantable continuous glucose monitoring systems can play in helping people manage their glucose levels. So the study results are as follows. This uses a little bit of statistics. So if you have any history in statistics, you will definitely understand this pretty well. Overall mean absolute relative difference, or MARD, against reference value is 9.1% for the primary sensor over 49,000 paired points, and 8.5% for the SBA, or the summary basis of approval sensor, over 12,000 paired points. And just to give it some comparison to, the Freestyle Libre has a 9.3% MARD, which is a bigger range, so meaning it's less accurate. And for the Dexcom, it is around 9% as well, as we see here. But Sensonic's study on the new SENS 180-day version is showing 8.5%, so that means it is actually more accurate than the Dexcom and the Freestyle Libre, both competitors of Sensonics. Or is it Senseonics? Which is correct? Let me know in the comments. And real quick, guys, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button if you've learned something in this video or would like to get updates on future videos that I make just like this one. It's a great way to support the channel and it's entirely free to do so. You can also get up to 2 free stocks if you open an account with WeBull using my affiliate link in the description. You'll get your first free stock when you open an account and your second free stock when you deposit $100. You don't have to use the money and they'll give you 2 free stocks. So it really is a no risk situation here. So if you're getting any value from this, I just ask that you guys hit the like button at the very least. We are very pleased with the results of the PROMISE study, which demonstrates an excellent safety and accuracy profile for the 180-day sensor. This study was initiated December 2018, and we're very grateful to the tireless clinical investigators and the devoted study subjects for participating in this important clinical trial, said Tim Goodnow, PhD, and President CEO of Sensonics. As we await hearing from the US and European regulatory agencies concerning our pre-market submissions of data from both the primary and the secondary, or SBA, sensors, we are pleased to continue to offer the SENS CGM systems in both the US and Europe with our commercialization partner, Ascensia Diabetes Care. The PROMISE study was a prospective multi-center trial designated to evaluate the SENS continuous glucose monitoring system in people with diabetes over a 180-day period of time, and was the basis of the pre-market application submissions to the US FDA and to BSI for CE mark in Europe. 181 study participants at 8 sites across the United States had a primary sensor inserted subcutaneously in their left upper arm. 43 of these participants also had the secondary sensor inserted in their right arm. So there was actually 43 people who had both sensors on at the same time, the first version in the left arm and then the secondary one in the right arm. Participants underwent 10 clinical visits between days 1 through 180 to measure accuracy by comparing the sensor glucose values with the standard reference YSI glucose values obtained simultaneously. Subjects also underwent hypoglycemia. Sorry if you're OCD about how I said it earlier in the video, but I'm fixing it from here on. Subjects also underwent hypoglycemia and hyperglycemia challenges to assess performance over the glucose range of 40 to 400 milligrams per deciliter. Data from both the primary and the secondary sensors were subsequently included in the pre-market submissions. And the rest is pretty standard, basic information about the SENS that we already know about. So with all of that being said, what exactly happened to the stock price when that news was released? The short interest in Sensonics has been rising and has actually been on the high short interest chart for quite some time now. and for some reason there's just a lot of people shorting Sensonic stock. So any kind of good news with some volume is going to push the price up. There simply wasn't enough Sensonic shares at the low price that people had it listed at on the markets. So there's all this demand now because of good news, and there is not enough shares. Shorts have to cover, and it's just this this loop of buying pressure. So it without a doubt has squeezed quite a bit already, but it doesn't mean that the squeeze is quite over. If you guys look to the beginning of the year, in January 2020, we had a high of around $3.90. And this was the first notable high that we experienced in Sensonic stock price. If we go from this point up to today, around 6 months later, we will see that it has squeezed above this price of $3.90. So what was previous resistance is now acting as a future support level or present support level today. You guys want to be buying at support. When you sell is going to be closer to resistance, but is entirely up to you with your own reasoning. But when you're going to be buying, especially with stocks that you're taking less speculative positions on and have strong fundamental understandings of, you accumulate heavier at support levels. So sitting at this level of support, we are around 30% lower than where we were just a couple of months ago when we made the initial high to above $5. So in theory, looking at stock technicals and what we're seeing right now in Sensonic's business developing is that we could at least see a price increase in Sensonics from where it is right now of another 30%. Because there are a lot of investors here with limit orders, and there is simply a lot of money to collect above these highs. So eventually the markets will go there, and until then the markets have not quite reset yet. So all of this accumulation that we've experienced over the past several months is going to be captured at some point above this high. I cannot tell you when exactly, but what's important right now, at least in the present term, as far as stock price goes, is looking at what happens over the next couple days above this level of previous resistance now acting as support. If we zoom in on a 1 hour chart, we see this purple line is the line on the daily chart that we were just looking at. So we're still pretty indecisive of where price is going to go from here. If you were trying to make some money on the swing trade, you would have already made your money already because it was trading below $3 for literally months. So at this point, the market is still deciding and we need a little bit more confirmation. But the point is on the higher time frames, we are sitting above it as support. So if price breaks below $4 and stays there for a little bit, there's a chance that we could head lower once more and maybe even fill this gap. If it fails to stay beneath, $4 and comes up and has some strong buying pressure below $3.90, below $4, depending on how much shorts have covered, this could be another phase of a short squeeze. And just so you guys are aware of the short selling that is happening to Sensonics right now, days to cover has been increasing steadily for the past 6 months. And if the squeeze doesn't really happen, then this days to cover is just going to keep going up. So keep that in mind. So this is something that's definitely going to be developing for us to watch over the next couple weeks. It could be bad if we get the news because some people like to sell the news, and maybe that's what we're seeing here. The most important part though, guys, is just having a plan, figuring out what you want, and to stick with your plan no matter what happens. You made up your mind, you executed, and you got to stick to the plan. Also, something I wanted to bring up is going on EverSense's Facebook page and actually going through their Facebook page and looking at what people have to say about their products. Aside from having that large item inserted under my skin and then removed when a new one is needed, what else does it collect and or report besides my glucose levels? It also reports your time in range, and it also can report an estimated A1C, which I thought was pretty cool. Our 18-year-old just got it. Procedure was done in less than 10 minutes. Insertion was pretty much painless. No problems after. Beats the every 10-day Dexcom replacement that was painful to him. Here's also a more serious concern that someone brought up that I discovered from just being on their page. What good does all this advertising do if there's no one to do the insertions? Unfortunately, whoever replied to this person, they deleted their comment, but they followed up saying, don't think so, seems to be a great product, just think they haven't built their infrastructure adequately. Hopefully it will take off someday, but I'm giving up. Rep gave me a list of providers. Only one within 70 miles isn't doing it anymore. It's such a shame they don't realize this horrible customer service. I'd be willing to become certified. Sounds almost easy enough to do it oneself. You get certified, I'll be your first patient. So, it's interesting to get people's take on the EverSense, on a first-hand basis because, these are people who are either inquiring about it because they are wanting to try it or they already have it themselves. So like any good business, if Sensonics is doing the right thing, they'll listen to their customers and they'll address the issues. Let me know what price you think Sensonic stock will be at the end of the month, and if you'll be buying more or holding what you have already. Thank you guys for watching. That is it for this video. If you guys liked what you were watching, please go ahead and hit that like button. And while you're down there, go ahead and hit that big red subscribe button. And do not forget to hit the bell notification to get notified when I make videos just like this one. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.